Both Benetton and Zebra won at the weekend. The national team are coming off a win against Wales. Things are looking good for the Italians. Hello, amateurs. Welcome back to our Six Nations series, here with you throughout the championship and beyond. To hit subscribe down below to make sure you don't miss out on any future episodes. Now, yes, Italy, off the back of a win against Wales, myself and Hugh Jones analysed that one. Big full match report. We'll stick the link up there for you. Go and check that one out if you want to find out all the details about what was a really, really rainy day in Rome. But in this pod, I am going to be looking at what I think the Italy team will be to face France this coming Sunday. A few squad updates to kick off. In comes second row, Matteo Canali. Back into the squad comes Simone Jessie, who got injured in the first game against Scotland, and also Mirko Spagnolo, the Lucid, who kind of did himself by crock-rolling somebody and getting himself suspended just before the championship. But he played 40 minutes this past weekend, scored a try off the bench as well. Good to see from the prop forward. So he is back in contention for sure. Out of the squad go Dino Lam, and Monty Ioane as well. Now, Ioane, I would say in previous years, this would be a big loss for Italy. Like, he gives them so much physicality and go forward on the wing. But the way Italy are playing at the moment, they've not been using their wider players all that much, particularly in the last game because of the conditions primarily. But they're just playing a lot more pragmatically. So whilst Ioane is definitely a loss, I don't think they're going to feel it as much as they would have done maybe in previous years. So what did I want to see from Italy in the previous fixtures? Confidence was the big thing. They looked lacking in confidence against Scotland. They looked like they weren't quite sure what they were doing. But they did. They looked like they were all on the same page against the Welsh. And they played the conditions superbly. It played into their slightly more pragmatic hands at the moment. I think they could really narrow down their game plan, narrow down their focus, and put that onto the pitch. And they needed patience and they needed discipline to do that. And they had both of those. And it served them well, admittedly, against a poor Wales team. But they did their bit, is what I'm saying. Okay, let's get into the selections now. And as always, we will start with the forwards. And I think we've seen a lot of consistency from Quesada in selection. And it's understandable. I think these guys are performing. The front row are all very, very physical. I think they're tackling. They might be the best tackling front row in the competition. They chop people down like there's no tomorrow. And the scrum's gone well. The Italian scrum has gone very well this year, this season so far. It's going to be a good test for them against the French. Obviously huge, but not actually. The French aren't sort of really, really destructive scrummagers either. So this could be a really good battle on Sunday. Canoni and Rutter to continue in the second row. Lamb would have been a potential change there, but he's not fit. And then the back row, I think, this is the starting back row. Really great balance in there. It's almost like a classic combination, isn't it? Your big gnarly six, your sort of fetcher of a seven that can also carry a little bit as well. And then Canoni as a ball carrier at number 8. But his breakdown threat has come up as well in recent weeks, something I don't recall seeing from him previously. So yeah, this is like the starting team, and I think it's going to take some work now for other players to really battle into that, aside from potential rotations into the backs. And the big question is going to be who takes over from Ioane. A couple of possibilities. Simone Jessie back in the squad. He was the bench player in the first week, so seems to be most in line, but also back around is Matt Gallagher. And I'm going to go for him. He played at the weekend. He also scored at the weekend. And I think with this slightly more pragmatic approach that Italy are taking, I think he fits that mold a little bit better. He is a really consistent performer, very good under the high ball and can kick. He plays a lot at fullback as well. So I think he fits into this game plan and this Italian style for this season a little bit better. The rest of the side continues. Again, I think consistency of selection is big for Quesada. I think, well, as they're trying to embed this slightly new style, this slightly new approach that they're taking, I think having all the same players on the pitch so they can work on it from week to week is really important. Plus, just looking at the bench, other players in the squad, these are the best players as well. So it's not even like, I don't really think there's anybody particularly challenging these guys for their shirts at the moment in any case. Okay, onto the bench. And we do have some changes here. Well, what I think will be changes anyway. Had Mike on from the Fratelli the Rugby podcast, and he raves about Spagnuolo, the loose head, as being one of the best actually in Europe at the moment, or he was before his ban. I've always been a big fan of him just because of his name, apart from anything else, but he did play incredibly well during last year's championship as well. So back to fitness, taking over from Rizzoli on the bench, who I don't think let himself down or didn't do anything badly. Scrummage certainly didn't falter later in the game for Italy, but it was noticeable that Fischetti was playing quite a lot of minutes. So maybe like the drop-off from Fischetti to Rizzoli was a little bit bigger. Maybe that drop-off won't be quite as big as if Spagnuolo's there and he'll play more than Rizzoli did. Favretto comes onto the bench to cover the second row spot, and again going with a 6-2 split here for Italy. They've done it consistently, and I think going up against the huge French pack, they will want to continue that. With Simone Jesse coming back into the number 23 jersey for Jacopo Trulla. Okay, what do I want to see from this Italian side? Excuse me, they're playing France. The big question is, will they be able to execute their pragmatic game plan against the French? Will they be able to get that on the park? Will they be able to dominate territory against the big French side? Because the French kick long, and they kick really long. Will the Italians be able to win that kicking battle? I think it's going to be really interesting and really close in that respect. But the biggest thing and the biggest threat, I think, for the Italians in this game is going to be the wide defence. It's going to be the unstructured play. They struggled in that area against Scotland in the first game. Scotland got good yardage in the wide channels against the Italians on Capuozzo's wing in the first half. Will the French go after that? I'm sure they will. Will the Italians be able to fix it all up this weekend? I'd love to see it, because I think they're really strong defensively through the middle. Menoncello and Brex are excellent defenders. They just need to get that wider channel nailed down with Tommy Allen as well at fullback, and not a renowned defender. So that could be the challenge this weekend for the Italians. Alrighty, that's what I think, but what do you think? Is this the Italian team that Quesada is going to pick? Any players you think might come in that I didn't mention? Anybody potentially getting dropped? Let me know in the comments down below, and I'll join you there for a friendly conversation. Give this video a thumbs up while you're down there. If you don't mind, it helps other great rugby fans find it, and you can subscribe there. You can watch that one next, and don't forget to get out and play.